What if I told you that computers, batteries, and even brain surgery existed thousands of years ago? Today, we're uncovering 25 shocking inventions from the ancient world, divided into just 5 incredible categories. You might think our modern world is the pinnacle of innovation, but prepare to have your mind blown as we travel back in time to reveal the forgotten genius of our ancestors. Let's start with technology that seems downright impossible for its time. Our first stop is Greece, around 100 BC, with the discovery of the Antikythera Mechanism. Found in a shipwreck, this intricate device of bronze gears and dials is often called the world's first analog computer. It wasn't for gaming or sending emails, but for something far more cosmic. It could predict astronomical positions, eclipses, and even track the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games. Imagine a clockwork model of the solar system, small enough to fit in a box, created over 2,000 years ago. It's so complex that it took modern science another century to fully understand its function, proving ancient Greeks were masters of mechanics and astronomy. Next, we journey to ancient Mesopotamia, to what is now modern-day Iraq. Here, archaeologists uncovered a curious clay pot known as the Baghdad Battery. Dating back to around 250 BC, this jar contained a copper cylinder and an iron rod. When filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, it could generate a small but noticeable electrical current of about 1 volt. While we don't know its exact purpose, theories range from electroplating gold onto silver to use in religious rituals for a little divine magic. Whatever its use, it proves that the basic principles of electricity were understood long before Benjamin Franklin flew his kite. It's a simple battery, but it's one that predates the modern version by nearly 2 millennia. And from generating power, we move to detecting it. In 132 AD, a brilliant Chinese astronomer and inventor named Zhang Heng created the world's first seismoscope. This magnificent bronze vessel, shaped like a large urn, was adorned with 8 dragon heads, each holding a bronze ball in its mouth. Below the dragons sat 8 open-mouthed toads. When an earthquake struck, even hundreds of miles away, a pendulum inside the device would swing, triggering a mechanism that caused one of the dragons to release its ball into the mouth of the toad below. The direction of the fallen ball indicated the direction of the earthquake's epicenter. This wasn't just a work of art. It was a life-saving early warning system that baffled the imperial court with its accuracy. Now, let's move from incredible machines to the astonishing world of ancient medicine. You might think plastic surgery is a modern luxury, but in India, as early as 600 BC, a physician named Sushruta was performing advanced surgical procedures. He is hailed as the father of surgery, and his text, the Sushruta Samhita, describes over 120 surgical instruments and 300 procedures, including the pioneering of rhinoplasty, or nose reconstruction. Using a flap of skin from the forehead, he could rebuild noses for people who had lost them in battle or as punishment. This technique is so effective that a modified version of it, the Indian flap, is still used in plastic surgery today. Meanwhile, in ancient Egypt around 950 BC, craftsmen and doctors were creating some of the world's earliest functional prosthetics. The most famous example is the Greville Chester Great Toe, a prosthetic big toe made of wood and leather, discovered on a female mummy. It wasn't just for show. Analysis shows clear signs of wear and tear, indicating it was actively used by its owner to help with balance and walking. This careful craftsmanship shows a deep understanding of anatomy and a compassionate desire to improve quality of life, thousands of years before modern prosthetics became common. It's a touching example of ancient medical care. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping medical feat comes from ancient Peru. The surgeons of the Paracas culture, living over 2,000 years ago, were masters of a terrifyingly delicate procedure, trepanation, or brain surgery. They would scrape or drill holes into the skulls of living patients, likely to relieve pressure from head injuries, treat migraines, or for ritualistic purposes. What's truly unbelievable is their success rate. Hundreds of skulls have been found with clear evidence of healing, and bone regrowth around the surgical holes, meaning the patients survived the operation and lived for years afterward. They did this without modern anesthesia or sterilization, showcasing an incredible and frankly gutsy level of surgical skill. Next up, let's marvel at ancient engineering feats that still defy explanation. When we think of durability, we think of Roman concrete. The Romans didn't invent concrete, but they perfected it. Their unique recipe, using volcanic ash, lime, and seawater, created a material that was not only incredibly strong but also got stronger over time when exposed to the elements. That's why structures like the Pantheon in Rome, with its massive unreinforced concrete dome, and their aqueducts and harbors have survived for 2,000 years, often in better condition than modern concrete structures just a few decades old. Scientists are still studying this lost recipe to create more sustainable building materials today. From Rome, we travel to the Andes Mountains of South America, home of the Inca Empire. The Incas were master stonemasons, but their technique was unlike any other. They built massive walls and fortresses like those at Sacsayhuaman, using enormous stones that fit together so perfectly that you can't even slide a piece of paper between them. And here's the kicker: they did it all without mortar. This technique, called ashlar masonry, made their structures incredibly resistant to the frequent earthquakes in the region. How they managed to cut, transport, and shape these multi-ton blocks with such precision, without iron tools or the wheel, remains one of history's greatest engineering mysteries. And how did people stay cool in the scorching desert before air conditioning? Well, the ancient Persians had an ingenious solution: the wind catcher, or yaksha. These remarkable towers were designed to funnel cool breezes down into buildings, while simultaneously pushing hot air up and out. Some were combined with qanats, underground channels carrying cool water, to create a natural evaporative cooling system. This passive air conditioning made life comfortable, even in the hottest climates of the Iranian plateau. It was a brilliant, energy-free solution that demonstrates a profound understanding of thermodynamics and airflow, thousands of years before modern HVAC systems were even dreamed of. Our journey continues into the realm of ancient knowledge and science, where the past seems to echo our future. In the jungles of Central America, the Mayan civilization developed one of the most complex and accurate calendar systems in human history. They didn't just have one calendar. They had several that worked in tandem. Their long-count calendar was incredibly precise, mapping out vast cycles of time. Their calculations of the solar year were actually more accurate than the Julian calendar used in Europe at the time. This deep understanding of celestial cycles was woven into their religion, architecture, and daily life, showcasing a society deeply in tune with the cosmos. Meanwhile, halfway across the world, ancient India gave humanity one of its most powerful intellectual gifts: the concept of the number zero. While other cultures had placeholders for nothingness, Indian mathematicians around the 5th century AD were the first to treat zero as a number in its own right, with its own rules for addition, subtraction, and multiplication. This revolutionary idea, transmitted to the Arab world and then to Europe, became the foundation of the decimal system and modern mathematics. Without zero, there would be no algebra, no calculus, and no computer code. It's a concept that is literally nothing, but it changed everything. And now for something truly ahead of its time. In the 1st century AD in Alexandria, a Greek inventor and mathematician known as Hero, or Hieron, described a device called the Aeolipile. It was a simple hollow sphere mounted on two pipes, which fed steam from a heated cauldron below. As the steam escaped through two bent nozzles on the sphere, it created thrust, causing the sphere to spin rapidly. This was, in essence, the world's first steam engine. While it was likely treated as a novelty or a temple marvel, it demonstrates that the basic principles of steam power were understood nearly 2,000 years before the Industrial Revolution would harness that same power to change the world. Finally, let's look at the everyday inventions from the ancient world that we still can't live without. We write on it, print on it, and use it every single day. I'm talking about paper. Before its invention in China around 105 AD by a court official named Cai Lun, people wrote on stone, clay, papyrus, or wood. Cai Lun perfected a process of mashing up mulberry bark, hemp, and rags with water, pressing it into a sheet, and drying it. This new material was cheap, lightweight, and easy to produce, revolutionizing communication and record-keeping, and allowing knowledge to spread like never before. What about personal hygiene? Believe it or not, the ancient Egyptians were pioneers of oral care. They created the world's first known toothpaste around 5000 BC. Their recipe might not sound too appealing today. It was a powder made from crushed rock salt, mint, dried iris flowers, and pepper. But when mixed with saliva, it formed a cleaning paste that would have been quite effective at whitening teeth and freshening breath. They even used early forms of toothbrushes, like frayed twigs, to apply it. So next time you brush your teeth, thank the ancient Egyptians. And for our final invention, imagine you're in ancient Greece and feeling a bit thirsty. Instead of flagging down a vendor, you could walk up to a machine, insert a coin, and receive a measure of holy water. That's right, the world's first vending machine was invented by none other than Hero of Alexandria, the same genius who created the steam engine. His device was simple. When a coin was dropped in, its weight would hit a lever, which would open a valve and dispense the water. Once the coin slid off the lever, the valve would close. It's a concept that's instantly recognizable to us today, showing that convenience and automation are not just modern desires. From ancient computers to brain surgery before hospitals, the ingenuity of our ancestors is truly astounding. These discoveries prove that the past was not a dark and primitive time, but a world filled with brilliant minds, incredible technologies, and ideas that were centuries ahead of their time. So, which invention amazed you the most? Was it the precision of the Antikythera Mechanism or the life-saving skill of ancient Peruvian surgeons? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to uncover more secrets of our lost history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Thanks for watching.